Chapter 31. The Legend of Yayati. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Mudgala continued the narration of the legend to Daksha Prajapati. Nahusha had 5 sons who were comparable to Devas in intelligence, namely Yabhyati, Yayati, Samyati, Ayati, and Ashwaka. Amongst them, Yayati became the king. O Prajapati, he was a majestic king. So I shall narrate his legend. Shukracharya's daughter Devyani and King Vrishaparva's daughter Sarmishta were the 2 wives of Yayati. He begot 2 sons from Devyani, Yadu and Durvasu. Sarmishta begot 3 sons, Druhyu, Anu and Puru. Ignoring the convention of enthroning the eldest son, Puru, the youngest among them and the most obedient, was anointed to the throne of the kingdom. Daksha asked Mudgalacharya, "Why did Yayati commit such a transgression? Please tell me about it. I am eager to hear the same." Mudgalacharya replied, "Prajapati, Vrishaparva was the king of Daityas. Sarmishta was his beloved daughter. Similarly, Devyani was a daughter of Shukracharya. Her father had raised her with love. One day, Sarmishta and her friends were roaming in the palace garden. Shukracharya's daughter Devyani also came to the garden at the same time. The young maidens played various games. When they were tired, they all decided to go for a bath in the river. All the girls left their clothes on the banks of the river. The girls played in the waters. Sarmishta and her friends were the first to emerge from the river, and in a hurry, she wore Devyani's clothes by mistake. When Devyani emerged, she noticed this condemnable act. She started abusing the princess. She said, "O evil one, I am the daughter of a Brahmin. Why have you worn my clothes? What you have done is like a lowly mongrel contaminating food by tasting it." In our scriptures, Kshatriyas have been described as doorkeepers for Brahmins. You are the daughter of a doorkeeper. You cannot be compared to me. O Lord, in this manner Devyani censured Sarmishta with many harsh words. Sarmishta was enraged and retorted, "O evil one, why are you boasting in my presence? The glory of Brahmins is as a result of compassion showed by Kshatriya kings. You have been raised on food and clothes donated by us. Your status is comparable to a crow that is offered food at the time of the ceremony performed for ancestors. Yet you dare speak to me in this manner?" Sarmishta said harsh words and insulted Devyani. In the wake of a heated discussion, Sarmishta, the daughter of an Asura, pushed Devyani into a dry well with help of her friends. Sarmishta was enraged yet unhappy about the events that had transpired. She returned home. Devyani was stuck in a dry well. At that time, as good fortune favored her, King Yayati was hunting in that forest. He saw her stranded in the well. Taking pity on her, he held out his right hand, which she held. After rescuing Devyani, he started to leave. At that moment, a delighted Devyani said, "O king, you held my hand, help me out. At least tell me more about you." So King Yayati said to her, "O beautiful maiden, I am Yayati, the son of Nahusha, belonging to Kshatriya clan. I had come to the forest for hunting when I saw you. Now you must return home. I too shall return." Devyani was overjoyed. She replied, "O king, I am Devyani, the daughter of Shukracharya. You must accept me as your wife, as you held my hand. I shall not wed any other." Hearing these words, Yayati said, "O Devi, you are the daughter of Shukracharya, a Brahmin, while I am a Kshatriya king. How can I marry you?" Devyani replied, "I have something important to say. Listen. Due to a curse pronounced by Kacha, I shall never get a Brahmin husband. O eminent king, so you can marry me without fear. I shall persuade Shukracharya and marry you with his blessings." The king accepted her request and returned to his kingdom. Devyani continued to stay there. Coincidentally, a man arrived there. She asked him to convey a message to her father Shukracharya. She sent a message, "O illustrious one, your daughter Devyani is in the forest." The messenger conveyed the message. O Munindra, your daughter is in the forest. Shukracharya went to the forest. Devyani wept profusely. She narrated the distressing events to her father. Shukracharya was enraged and decided to express his strong disposition to retire to the forest. When Vrishaparva heard the news, he panicked. He hurried to meet Shukracharya and offered his pranams to the Mahamuni. The king of Daityas, Vrishaparva, requested him with great devotion, O Guru, my body and my kingdom functions with your grace. O eminent Muni, under such circumstances, how can you abandon me? If you decide to go, I too shall renounce the kingdom and accompany you. Heeding to his prayers, Shukracharya told his daughter, let us return. Forgive the transgression committed by the princess. Devyani was filled with wrath. She said, O father, I shall sacrifice this body and accept death, but will not return to that town. The helpless father asked his daughter, what do you desire? I shall agree to any solution. And infuriated Devyani said, let Sarmishta and her friends serve me as my maids wherever you wed me. O father, I will return only if this is agreed upon. Shukracharya loved his daughter dearly and agreed to ask the king. He conveyed Devyani's terms to the Daitya king. The king agreed to ensure the return of Shukracharya. Devyani was delighted and returned to the kingdom. Thereafter, Shukracharya wed his daughter to Nahusha's son Yayati. The marriage was conducted observing the rituals. O Prajapati, Sarmishta accompanied as a maid. One day, Sarmishta, who was in a fertile period, was alone in the palace gardens. She asked King Yayati with utmost humility, O king, I had seen you during the marriage ceremony. Since then, I too have accepted you as my husband. I am mature and yearning. Please accept me lovingly. The king Yayati consented and indulged in a physical relationship in secrecy. O Prajapati, Devyani was unaware of these events. When Devyani noticed that Sarmishta was pregnant, she questioned her. O Sarmishta, whose child are you carrying? Is this a blot on the Daitya clan or has someone violated you? Sarmishta replied, Dear friend, I have not committed any offense for which I should be ashamed. I am secretly nurturing a lustrous child of a Brahmin in my womb. She delivered 3 lustrous sons, comparable to Devas. She lived respectfully in a cottage built for her by the king in the royal gardens. One day Devyani went to the garden unexpectedly. She heard Sarmishta's sons lovingly address Yayati as father. Hearing it, Devyani became extremely enraged. Yayati tried to pacify her. However, Devyani went to her father Shukracharya's home. The king was too frightened to go to her father's home. Devyani wept and narrated the events to her father. Shukracharya pronounced a curse on Yayati. He became an old man. The distressed king hurried to Shukracharya and pleaded, O father-in-law, I am not yet content from the pleasures of this material world. Please suggest a remedy to reverse this curse of aging. I shall not touch any woman other than Devyani. Shukracharya was pacified and said, O mighty one, you can exchange your senility with your young son for youth. The son who accepts this aging must be enthroned as a king. By doing so, you will not earn any sin. The distressed king agreed and returned home with Devyani. He asked his eldest son for his youth, but his elder sons were selfish and did not agree. So he asked his youngest son, Puru. He accepted the senility of his father in exchange for his youth. For no fault of his, the son Puru was transformed into an old man. However, Yayati enjoyed the pleasures of youthfulness once again. Yayati visited several places of pilgrimage with devotion and performed various yajnas and their auxiliary yajnas as prescribed by Vedas. He donated all the grains and wealth in his treasury to Brahmins. At a time when the royal treasury was empty and Yayati was using clay utensils in his house, Mahamuni Galava arrived to solicit Yayati. Seeing the bankrupt king, he was remorseful. He asked the king, O king, you are the most eminent of all Kshatriya kings. I need 1,000 Shyamakarna horses with black ears. to give as dakshina to my guru. The king gave his daughter Madhavi to him. She enabled the Muni to succeed in acquiring the horses. Thereafter, the king decided to give up his youth and took back the old age he had given to Puru. He also anointed him to the throne of his kingdom. He assigned the administration of the southeast quarter to Durvasu. He assigned the administration of the southwest region to his eldest son Yadu. He assigned the northwest and northern direction to his sons Druhya and Anu respectively. All these sons ruled righteously and protected the earth. One of the most amazing stories in Mahabharata is the story of Madhavi. Madhavi was the daughter of Yayati and Anapsara. Madhavi had divine powers to remain virgin forever. She was also destined to give birth to 4 brave and strong sons who were fit to rule the world. Galava, a disciple of Vishwamitra, remained adamant to give Guru Dakshina. Vishwamitra, to teach him a lesson, asked for 800 Shamakarna horses, white horses with black ears. Consulting with many, Galava ultimately reaches Yayati, an immensely powerful lunar clan. Yayati could offer no such horses, but to compensate he offers Madhavi, his daughter, to Galava and tells him about her divine powers. Galava then takes Madhavi to Haryeshwar king of Ayodhya, and Madhavi gives birth to their son Vasumanasa or Vasuprada in return of 200 horses. He regains her virginity. Then Galava takes her to Divodasa, king of Kashi, and Madhavi gives him a son, Pratardana, regains her virginity and leaves son with his father like the previous son. Galava takes 200 horses for Divodasa. Next, Galava takes her to Ushinara, king of Bhoja, and Madhavi gives birth to a son named Sibi in return for 200 horses. So now Galava has 600 horses only, and there is no king left on earth who has any such horses. With 600 horses, Galava returns to his guru, Vishwamitra, because Galava was 200 horses short. Vishwamitra offers to keep Madhavi for a son for sparing 200 horses. Madhavi gives birth to a son, Ashtaka, who later became a great king. After giving Guru Dakshina, Galava goes to the forest. Vishwamitra sends Madhavi back to her father, Yayati. She was still a virgin because of her divine powers. Yayati arranges for Madhavi's marriage. But completely disinterested in marital life and childbearing, Madhavi refuses for remarriage. She goes into the forest and retires there as a hermit. Puru remained the sovereign emperor of the earth. He was just and ruled following the precepts of Dharma, was humble, truthful, and valiant. After establishing this order, Yayati proceeded to the forest and performed austere penance. In the end, he ascended to the highest Swargaloka, which was filled with various enjoyments. In Swargaloka, he received more pleasures than others. He believed there is no other jiva in this Swarga with punya comparable to mine. Yayati became conceited. Indra then asked him, "What good deeds have you performed during your lifetime? Please tell me." The eminent king said innocently, "O Lord Indra, one cannot count the merits that I have earned. O Devanayaka, the cumulative merits of all the gods living in Swargaloka is less than a small fraction of my merits." Hearing these arrogant words, Indra said, "O Maharaja, you have no knowledge of their punya. Considering them contemptible by indulging in self-praise and by telling me that your merits are infinite, you have behaved ignorantly. O king, by doing so, you have used up a large quota of your merits. Now your merits are depleted. You must return to the earth and once again earn merits by performing austere penance." As a consequence, a disheartened Yayati started falling to the earth. His grandson Sibi and others saw him fall. Knowing him to be their maternal grandfather, they offered all their merits to him. As a result, he once again ascended to Swargaloka. He started living there like the gods. He was delighted. Thereafter, Narad Muni compassionately advised him, "Your path is ridden with obstacles, which are resulting in the depletion of your merits. O king, you must worship Vignesha, lord of obstacles, to ascend to Swanandaloka in the end. If not, you will definitely fall back to the earth." Narada initiated him into the Dashakshara mantra of Ganesha. Yayati meditated and chanted the mantras of Ganesha with devotion. When all his merits were depleted, the Ganapatya king ascended via the Shuklagati, path of final emancipation. As a result of his devotion, he was absorbed into Ganesha. I have narrated the pious legend of Yayati in brief. Anyone who listens to it will be blessed with fulfillment of all their desires. Thus ends the 31st chapter titled The Legend of Yayati in the third khanda of the Purana Upanishad, Srimad Mudgal Puran, describing the legends of Mahodara. Dedicated to Sri Gajanana. End of chapter 31.